Hello and welcome. This is Cherie with Rehashfiber, and today I have a fun, quick project for you. I'm also going to talk a little bit about patterns and copyright. And then lastly, I'm just going to share with you a little reuse and recycle item that you can benefit from. So starting off here, we have the Twisty Orchard headband. It has been designed by Stacy Leekfeld, and she has the site Fit Food Art Shop. This is worked with a bulky yarn. She used the Malabrigo Rasta, and I want you to check it out here. I have seen this at yarn stores. It is beautiful, and I've held it and thought, oh, what can I make with it? And I have not had an item yet that I can make with it, but I will someday. And that is why I want you to see it, because next time you're at the yarn store, check it out. Now for this, I had a different yarn on hand. I found it in a free bin at Bazaar Girls in Port Townsend, Washington. You know how fun it is when we buy our yarn and we have our treasures. And then there was the free bin and I found one more treasure for free. And I was holding on to this thick variegated yarn. It was variegated in color and also in weight. It went from thick to thin, but I thought it was really cool. Well, when this came up, that is what I used to make my headband. This pattern is worked with a size 13 or 15 knitting needle, depending on how you knit. You can start knitting it just a little bit, see how it works for you, and then use the needles that work the best. For me, with my variegated yarn in weight, I needed to go down to a size 10 needle because there were some parts of this yarn that were very thin and some that were thicker, so the 10 is what worked for me. Now, it is a fun pattern that you can do in one day with one skein of yarn. And isn't that the best? You can zip right through it. You cast on 14 stitches and it's a 6-row repeat. When you get to row 5 and you get to the part that says CT, that is when you do the cable twist. You put 2 stitches on your cable needle, you hold it to the back. You knit the next 2 stitches. Then you put those 2 stitches back on your left needle and knit those, and you get your simple twist. That was not explained here, and I just had to do a little looking up in her site on how to do that. I figured I knew how to do that, but I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page. So I'm just telling you now, that is how you do it. You then make the headband as long as you need it to be for you, but remember to make it just a little bit shorter because you do want it to stretch so it will stay on your head. So mine was 21 inches and my measurement for my head was like 21 3/4. So I did a little bit less so that it will have that elasticity to hold on to my head. So just keep that in mind when you're making it for somebody else to get their measurements. Or if you're making it for a market to sell, you might just want to make a few different sizes for the smaller and larger heads. Anyway, I think if you worked on just this for a day, you could probably get 2 of them done. It was fun. Great gift idea too. Stocking stuffers, it's great. You will love those yarns as well. You can find the Twisty Orchard headband on Ravelry, and Stacy is giving away the pattern for free. So what a wonderful gift from her. Now, when somebody gives away a pattern for free, I usually like to show them a little bit of love in some way. For one, talking about it on the show, if I use the pattern. But also, these are things we can do. We can follow them on social media, we can visit their webpage, or possibly purchase another pattern. And that way, they are getting compensated in some way for the wonderful gift that they gave us. So this brings me to the topic of copyright. There's a couple things I wanted to just mention to you. I am a big stickler. When the item is for sale, that person needs to be paid for it. So when I'm with people and they're like, I'll just make you a copy of this and give you the pattern, I'm like, nope, just tell me the name of the pattern, where I can find it, and I will buy it. Because patterns are probably the least expensive part of our craft that we're doing. And we need to show those designers that we are grateful and appreciate their work, and they need to make their income for doing the work. So always purchase your patterns. Another thing to think about when you're at a yarn store, if they're selling you patterns, make sure the designer is getting the payment for that And not that the yarn store is just making copies and they're getting paid for it, because that's not very fair to the designer. So that's something I learned about this past year. Follow through on that. Now, if they're giving it away for free, enjoy it. But like I said, show them some love. It's good stuff. The other thing that I learned when I was researching copyright stuff when I first started designing is that if you purchase the pattern, if you buy the yarn, and you are the one that makes the item, you are allowed to sell it. I know a lot of patterns say you cannot sell it, but you can. And it's okay. It's not breaking any rules or against the law. So that is just something you can do. All right, moving on to when I got a new duvet cover yesterday. It came in this. And I thought, I have got to show this to you, because every time that happens and I get one of these, I save it. Because when I travel, I fold my sweaters up and put them in these bags, and then it goes in the suitcase. And I know that my sweater is safe. It's not going to rub against something. It's not going to get pulled in a zipper. I don't know, it just feels more protected, and I love it. So there's a little tip for you. Keep those for your sweaters. Now, as the crafty world that you are, you probably have a ton of other ideas you can do with a cotton bag like this, but that is mine and my little tip for you. So enjoy that. All right, that is it for today. Happy knitting, your Twisty Orchard headband, and thanks for watching.